I'm going to give it just one more minute because we have a few more people logging in. We are now live. So hi to those of you that are watching live on Workplace in EXP Family Tree. Go ahead and join the Zoom call if you're available to, because then you can interact a little bit more. Otherwise, please post questions there and I'll monitor it for our guest host, Michael Tritthart today. I'm going to make the introduction in just a minute. Michael, we're just going to give it one more minute to make sure people can log in.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to just go ahead and get started. I'll let people in as we go, Michael. So
Sure.
You don't have to stop, just keep going. It is recorded, it is live streamed, so people can go back and watch if they're a little bit late to the party, but we have a number of people watching live stream already. So I want to be cognizant of your time and everybody else's. Thanks to those of you that are making time joining us live as well. We really appreciate you. This is, I'm sure, going to be interactive and we'll leave some time for questions. But in the meantime, any questions that you don't want to forget, chat them in the chat box and Michael and I will circle back around on those too. So before we get started, I just want to make a quick introduction because I've known Michael for many years now. At the past brokerage I was at, he did a tremendous amount of marketing and offered a lot of support to agents in the way of marketing specifically at first, and then it has transformed into a lot of other things. He has many successful companies, all which really surround marketing, digital marketing, and making sure that you can continue to get business as real estate entrepreneurs. So I'm very excited to bring him because Michael is a busy guy and has a lot of opportunity and knowledge to share and was willing to come here and spend some time with us. So Michael is based out of North Texas and more than 20 years of experience in helping educational workshops, small business training, marketing tips, and of course, all around consultation designed to improve your business, whatever industry you might be in. But of course, he's been around the real estate business for a long time as well. So lots of things. A Star Power Coach 2022. They brought Star Power back, which I saw.
Star Power is back. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Head coach of the Master Networks 5+1 Mastery Coaching Program in 2019, Master Networks Leadership Team Director of Coaching 2020, International Technology Instructor 2001, the One Thing Instructor, if any of you are coming from KW like I am, 2016, and then a whole bunch of other continuing education certifications, Alabama, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas. And so obviously we are in good hands. And so without further ado, I just want to say thanks again, Michael, for being here. Super excited that we get to take 45, 50 minutes of your time today. We really appreciate it. So I'm going to let you lead the way. And if you need anything from me throughout, just let me know.
Yeah, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate it. And if there are some questions that come up, if you want to kind of help monitor the chat, that would be of great assistance to me. So I appreciate you letting me come in and speak with everyone today. I hope everybody's having a great start to their week. What we're going to be talking about today is the shift that is occurring in the market, which we all are experiencing. And what are some of the tools and techniques specifically from Google that we can do to help not only navigate that shift, but thrive through that shift? And, as Carrie mentioned, I've been training real estate agents now since 2001. Prior to all of that, I was a middle school and high school teacher and football coach here in Texas. And I always tell everybody I did that for 6 years, and Friday Night Lights is real. The insanity of football in Texas is a real thing. And I experienced it and it was awesome. It was crazy. It was nuts, right? And that insanity preps you for markets like this. And so I was training back in 2008, 2009, 2010, when the market shifted and agents were having to adjust their business radically. And we're back into that mode, back into that mindset. Now, we're not seeing it as yet, but we are starting to see inklings of it starting to change. And so I'm going to share some things with you here in just a bit that are going to be impacting your business and how we can start to use those with Google. But I'm also dropping some other little bonus items. something I always like to do in my classes is drop in those bonus items. And as you can see, these are all the different locations that I've trained either in person or virtually since 2000. Actually, I think this list is since 2007. So happy to be here with you guys. Now, let's just start off with a bang, or maybe with a whimper. If anybody in here is a Facebook ad user, those are pretty much toast for the real estate world. And Facebook has made some changes, not because that they wanted to, it's because they had to because of agreements with HUD. But Facebook ads are pretty much going to be toast, especially in the special ad categories. And if you look down here, the special ad categories include housing. What Facebook is having to do in their agreement with HUD is adhere to this different timeline, which we've already passed the final spot for the timeline. And so special ad audiences will no longer be available for use in new ads coming in. So if you've been able to procure business for years from Facebook through your ads, that's going to be a tough road to hoe moving forward, like pretty much a non-existent road. Also, they're starting to crack down on just normal postings in your Facebook page of listings. I've had agents giving me feedback like those are getting rejected. Those aren't being shown. And so Facebook Meta is at a crossroads, especially for real estate agents. And so what do you do? What should you be focusing on, especially as the market is starting to change? You got to go back to the tried and true methods. And what that's going to be is branding. You need to focus with your online brand. You can still use Facebook and talk about real estate and talk about your clients and talk about the services that you're providing. You can do ads on other platforms. Those are still available. You can advertise on Google. You can advertise on YouTube and LinkedIn and everywhere else. But I think you also need to focus on the other platforms. And this is something that I've trained on for many, many years, is going out and using the tools that Google provides to you. Because I kind of joke in my classes that I am cheap and I'm lazy. I like the free stuff and I like the easy stuff. Can I get an amen from some of you on here that are the same way? Some of you are so lazy you can't even raise your arm. You're just like, yeah, okay, that's me, right? I mean, start with the stuff that's easy, right? Start with the stuff that's free. And the very first thing, and what we're going to do in this session, can't really get into the nuts and bolts of it just from a time constraint point of view, but we're going to talk overview. We're going to talk why. Why do we need to do this? Well, the very first thing that we want to do is we want to go in, we want to make sure that we secure our brand online. And I've pulled up Holly Haven. Holly is an agent here near me in North Texas. She's an EXP agent. And what you see on the right-hand side is her Google business profile page. Every single agent, every single brokerage out there, every single business, quite honestly, out there has the ability to set up their Google business profile page. You need to set this up. If we were going to go in and look at her search result on a mobile device, what we see over here on the right-hand side, that's the first thing that we're going to see on that mobile device. And it's going to be like the first 3 or 4 scrolls as we look on this. So this dominates what you see for Holly. This is completely free. And there's tons of agents out there that have not set their page up, which is a huge mistake, right? And in many cases, it's not really a mistake. You just don't know. And then there's others that have set it up, but they don't feed it. And they don't get the reviews and they don't get the photographs. And that's a key aspect of this. And you can see that she's got 28 reviews, 5-star rating, which is really good. And she's got a lot of photographs on here. But I want you guys to jot this down, either type up the notes or write this down. But 150 equals 1,000. And yes, I was a history teacher. And some of you are like, that fails math. That's not a math equation. What the heck is that? 150 equals 1,000. What that means is if you add 150 photographs to your Google business profile, then you will see a 1,000% increase in consumer engagement. Because Google knows that consumers are visual animals. They want to see the reviews. They want to see the stars. They want to see the photographs. They don't really care to read anything. They just want to see it, right? And they want to validate you based off of that. And so if you add in more photographs, then that's going to help your business. Now everybody goes, 150 selfies? Some of you are like, I got that covered, right? Just go to my Instagram page. Not necessarily, right? It can be houses that you sell. It can be photographs of you at closings. It can be photographs of the skyline. It can be photographs of downtown. It can be photographs of anything and everything pertaining to your business. But why is this so important? Well, if somebody sees your signage, somebody sees you at an open house, somebody sees your marketing, somebody sees Holly's YouTube channel because she's doing a great job on YouTube, they're going to come over here and they're going to try to validate Holly. Is she worth working with? But look at the pressure that Holly is under. Look at the pressure that all of you are under. Google is putting ads on Holly's page. Other agents, you know, you have some of the clients who are like, oh, let's look at Holly. Oh, squirrel. And then they're off and looking at one of the other agents. So we got to really make Holly's page look amazing. Here's another pressure that Holly is under. And actually, she needs to work on this, right? And I've told her this, and she's like, I know. But if I look right here, the very first spot that pops up for Holly is realtor.com. You think she's going to get the leads coming in off of realtor.com? Like truly all the leads? No, not happening. Then Holly is in North Texas. Well, in the third spot is HAR. That's something that happens here to the Texas agents. The Houston Association of Realtor, which is 4 hours away, they go out and they create a page on HAR's website for all the agents in Texas, not just North Texas, not just Houston, but everywhere. And it's an ingenious move by HAR, but it doesn't help Holly because the leads that come in off that HAR page are going to go straight to HAR, and then they farm those out to their agents. And then you run into the Zillows and the Trulias of the world and everything else. So you really have to go in and secure your page, secure your spot. And Google Business Profile is a huge part of that. But let me pull my page up and I'm going to show you something as well. So if I come over here and I look at mine, give me a second to load. So I've got 515 reviews. I've got a 5-star rating. I've got over 1,000 photographs on my page. So I pretty much dominate that. But one of the other things that I have on my page, if I scroll down, I own the SEO, the search engine optimization space for me. And the reason why I do that is I have a training company that I own and operate. We train and travel all over the United States, but I've also got a website design company. My website design company has taken my website and made sure that it dominates all the spaces coming up. Another way of saying this, these are all of my fishing lures with my hooks, and any leads that come in off of this, they're going to go to me. They're not going to go to Zillow. They're not going to go to Trulia. They're not going to go anywhere. I mean, I pretty much dominate this whole space. You can see these are all michaeltritthart.com. I cannot emphasize that enough. Agents have been trained, have been told, oh, you can't compete against Zillow. You can't compete against the big boys of the world. Like, you know, it's game over. You can't do that. And that is so false. It is ridiculously false. And it is something that a lot of agents have given up on because they've been trained that way, and they should not do that. Prime example, my business partner, his name is Jeff Kale. And some of you on here may know Jeff. He's been training real estate agents for many years. And I don't know how many California agents we have on here. Give me a show of hands or you can comment on the chat. But I always kind of joke. I say, hey, here's your fun fact about California. Being that I'm in Texas, I can kind of say that. But here's your fun fact about California. Jeff has lived in California his whole life, Carlsbad, California, up until November of last year. He moved to Honolulu because it's cheaper to live in Honolulu than it is Carlsbad, California. And when I mention that to anybody, they're like, wow, that's crazy. Except all the Californians go, yes, I totally believe that. I agree. You know, like I'm seeing it. And so he is in Honolulu, but he has kept his website for San Diego. And so if you go over and you search, sell your San Diego home yourself, that phrase pulls up 183 million search results. You can see these are a bunch of ads right here. They're paying big bucks to be here. But if I go down, the very first one right here is a website that we created. And Jeff's site pops up. And oh yeah, by the way, here's another fun fact about Jeff. He's the former IT director for Petco. Did that for 13 years. So if you want to get to the first page of Google, we've got a really good track record of doing that, not just for our own websites that we own and operate, but for all of our clients. Now, Jeff has this site pulled up and it says, sell your San Diego home by yourself. And everybody goes, whoa, time out. Why are you selling FSBOs? Why are you promoting that? And we're like, no, we're not. We're promoting pain. Look at the photograph. Oh, you want to do it yourself? Well, you can. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to pretty much hate life, right? Here's the 5 things you got to handle. Oh yeah, bottom line, the bottom of the page, here comes a link for you to contact Jeff. He gets 3 to 5 seller leads a week coming in off of that. He refers those out to agents that he knows, likes, and trusts. And then he just collects the referral checks from the beach in Honolulu, right? That's a pretty good business plan. So what I'm saying to you is this: it all starts with your Google business profile page, but don't give up on the Google SEO part of it. Does that make sense? Questions, Carrie? Is there any questions, comments from anybody? And if you guys have questions, by all means, post those. And I want to point this out too. This is something that comes up in a lot of my classes, especially with virtual brokerages such as EXP. They go, oh man, I can't do my Google business profile page. Yeah, you absolutely can. There's certain ways of structuring it and getting it set up. But as you can see, Holly, who is EXP, she's got her page set up and it's producing for her. And I've got businesses that have set up their Google business profile page. They'll come back to one of my virtual classes. They'll come back to my in-person class. And like, for instance, I was teaching in Valentine back in 2019, like December of 2019, right before the world went crazy. And I had a gentleman before the class started. He raised his hand and he's like, Michael, can I share something with everybody? I'm like, sure, absolutely. We had like 100 people in the room. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what's he getting ready to say? This might be crazy. He goes, guys, I just want to share this. I went to Michael's class last time about Google and I applied just a portion of what he was talking about. I made $35,000 in 3 months just from that element. I'm here to learn the rest. And I've had other people come up and say, you know what, I make an extra $200,000, $300,000 a year just off the Google business profile page. Like, it's insane. They're blown away by how powerful it is. And I'll give you this example that is a non-real estate example, but it's a very extreme example, but it showcases the power of this page. In my coaching program that I run with masternetworks.com, we coach not just real estate agents, but all business owners. And we had a sales manager in there for a window and door replacement company in upstate New York. And he took the sales management position on February 15th, 2020. He's in charge of a team of 10 people. And then the whole world shuts down on him within a couple of weeks. And he had signed up for the coaching program and he's kind of panicking, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I said, you need to go all in on Google. You need to get your reviews. You need to get all your photographs, all the doors, everything else that you've done. And in the midst of New York, in the midst of COVID, in the midst of a severe lockdown within New York, that year, he was able to move the sales team from 4 million total sales to 8 million total sales in 2020. And of that, $500,000 came directly from the Google business profile page that he could track. He goes, there's probably much more, but he goes, we had more people lined up outside our door waiting to get into our showroom than we've ever had. He goes, this is in the middle of COVID. Everybody's separated. Everybody's doing their thing, you know, following the protocols that were set forth by the state of New York. But we had people who were willing and wanting to come into our business because it was insane. He goes, it saved our business. And that is something that I think a lot of agents and a lot of business owners just don't fully grasp. And again, we're talking high level parts of it. We're not diving into all the details of it. That's something we can do in a follow-up session, but this just kind of gives you the why you want to get this set up. And hopefully that makes sense. And then I'm looking at the chat here. Candace says, what is your advice with putting pictures on your Google business page and then have your contact info on them? All for it. And here's what I do. So I go in. Now, again, you got to follow your rules and regulations of your local MLS, right? If I'm teaching in New Jersey, there's a certain thing that has to happen. Like, you have to do certain things when you advertise your business, because if you don't, New Jersey will fine you. They are looking to actively fine people. So here's something that I did with Master Networks Group 2 weeks ago. We went out to help feed the hungry. And so I posted this photograph. And I go in, and anything and everything that pertains to my business, I'm going to go in and I'm going to watermark that. So basically, there's a bumper sticker pretty much on every photograph that I do that says, michaeltritthart.com, real training, real designs, real results. That's my call to action. Go to my website. Others will go out and design something that is going to be much more like, call me or do this or do that. But I always tell everybody, keep it very linear. Don't go in and overpower the page. Like, don't go in and just dominate it. Here's the big photograph of you. Here's your huge call to actions. People don't want to see that. They just want to see almost like a watermark, almost like a photographer branding their photograph. That's what they want to see, is something along the lines of that. Here's a little bonus item. How many of you, and you can raise your hand on this or you can type this in the chat, how many of you have handwritten testimonial notes from your clients? Anybody have those? Right? You keep those, right? I mean, I still have them. I can reach over here and I can grab one, because whenever I get a handwritten note, I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. Like, you just don't see those very often. And what I'll do is I'll go out and I'll take a photograph of them. Let's see if I can find one here pretty close. I'll go out and take a photograph of it. I'll watermark it, and then I'm going to drop it in there. And let me see if I can just find one. Just give you an example. There's a lot of Master Networks conference stuff right there, but I think there's, let me see if I can find one. I got a lot of photographs, but if I can't find it here pretty quickly, I think you guys get the idea. You basically just take a photograph of everything that you do in your business. That's what you're doing here. Okay. All right. Any other questions on the process?
I love the idea of taking those written testimonials and watermarking them and using them in a variety of places, for sure.
Yeah. Closings for me, training sessions, events, everything and anything that you do when you're traveling and you're doing all that type of stuff, you're dropping that information in there. Anything that pertains to your business.
So the reason I asked you about that was because I know some platforms have algorithms where if you put some of your contact info, it actually harms some of your content, or you don't get as much. Is there anything to avoid with Google My Business?
So Google doesn't have that right now, you know, and I've never heard of them blocking anything like that. It's a good question that you asked. Google, when they put in the photographs, they just want you to pretty much dump it in, right? And there's very few organizational folders that you can put it in. Like, you can say, is this work? Is this your team? Like, you know, there's just certain things you can do. And a lot of people say, okay, 150, do I have to do like 10 a day, 20 a day? No, you can do 150 right now if you wanted to, right? My son is in college at Texas Tech, but over the summer, he runs jetcardetail.com. He's a mobile car detailer, and he does not have a website. What he has is his Google page, and we bought the domain name. He was kind of like my case study. We bought the domain name and we pointed it to his page, and I wanted to see if he could run his business without, you know, any major expense. And he's been able to do that. And so everything that he does from a photograph, you know, from a photograph point of view, from a video point of view, he puts it all in there. And then on his photographs, he'll go in and he'll put Jet Custom Car Detail, and he puts the phone number in there. And he was getting calls from people going, hey, can you come out, clean my car? I saw that you know, 469 number, they'll call him. Can you come out to Melissa, Texas? Can you come out to Van Alstyne and do this and do that, right? So he'll go out and do stuff like that. Now, here's the power side note. Give the boy some praise. He's a hard worker. Here's the power of video. Watch this. This is crazy. This is a YouTube trick that he learned. It was like, what are we looking at? It's the hood of the Mercedes that he just cleaned. It's so clear. It's so clear that it looks like a mirror, right? And then when he zooms out, he showed that to the owner, and the owner's like, that's my hood? That's insane. He's like, my car's never been that clean. And so you can go out and drop in short little videos on your page like this as well too. You can put in about 20-second long videos, kind of like scan the property, scan downtown, show happy clients. You can't put in like 5-minute long videos. It's just really short, like almost Reels, TikTok-ish type mentality with your videos. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to move to a different topic unless you, in a different screen, unless you guys have any questions on that. John, you have a question?
I do. So are you with EXP?
I'm not. I travel and train. I train all different brokerages.
So I'm a team, but I'm a married couple team, and we service 2 different areas. Can I have 2 different Google business pages for each area that I service?
Yes. And so what you can do basically within Google, let me just log into my account. I think that'll make much more sense for it. Hold on. So when I go into my account, I actually manage 3 different pages. I manage my page, I manage my son's page, and then I manage our short-term vacation rental that we have in Panama City Beach, which, by the way, you may need to be on the beach, got a place for you, right? So there's that page. And so I can go out and I can manage multiple pages within that one login. And so if you have a page set up for Denver, and then you have another page set up for California or wherever your teams are at, you can do that and you can manage it. And you just hop back and forth between the two. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, speaking of Denver, again, this really reinforced the why. Why do we need this? Well, if I come over here and I do a search for realtors in Denver, which a lot of people do, they're going to go out to the mapping system of Google, kind of like how they search for restaurants near me or restaurants in New York or realtors in Denver. They're going to make their life decision, whether it's a small life decision like a restaurant or a pretty big one like choosing the realtor near them. They're going to make that decision based off of what Google's telling them. And according to this, everybody that you see with the red dots in the middle of the screen right now, those are the ones that have their Google business profile page set up. And they're showing over on the left-hand side. And you can see the reviews and you can see all the information about them. You can come over here and you can click on any of these and it's going to open up to more information about them. You can zoom in, move the map around, search this area, and you're going to see different results come up. And you're going to be able to choose who you want to work with based off of those results. That's another reason why we want to be on Google Business Profile. It's essential because if you don't have a pin, you're not on the left, you don't exist to a lot of Google users, just pure facts. Another reason why we want to do this is we also want to make sure that if they don't do the mapping system, if they just say, hey, realtor in Panama City, Florida, we want to show up potentially on this page. Now, these agents right here, they're paying Google local services to be there. And it's not cheap, but if you're getting your return on an investment, then hey, more power to you. That's good. But ideally, what you want to have happen is you want to get into what's known as the 3-pack. And the 3-pack is the group of 3 agents that show up next to the Google mapping system. And everybody says, well, how do I get to the 3-pack? Think of it as king of the hill. You're battling everybody else. You're fighting that spot. And Think Real Estate has done a really great job. They got 5-star rating. They got 184 reviews. They're blowing the other 2 away. They only got 20 reviews at a 4.3, 86. I mean, they're the top dog, but that doesn't mean they're always going to stay top dog. Somebody can go in, start to really get after it, add more to that, and eventually, potentially knock them off the list or knock one of these others off the list. But if you're able to make it into the 3-pack, your phones will start to light up. Your emails will start coming in more and more. You're never going to be able to truly understand like how much business is coming in from this. You'll talk to people and you'll say, hey, just curious, John, how did you find us? And they're going to go, I don't know. I was on Google. Internet told me to contact you. You're one of the first ones. Like they don't know how they're making the connection. They just know they're making a connection to you. And there will never be anybody that comes in and goes, John, we are working with you because we have found you on the Google Business Profile page. Therefore, you are our agent. Like they just don't know how they found you. They just know to go look for you. That's the power of this. So it kind of runs behind the scenes, but it's huge. And the best part about Google Business Profile, it's completely free. You set it up the right way. And that's what we do in all of our trainings. And then we feed the machine and we show you how to do that as well. Okay. And Karen said, how did you say they make it to the 3-pack? Google will never tell you because if they tell you, then everybody's going to do it. But success leaves clues. If you're one of the first agents in your area to do it, then you're probably going to be in the 3-pack initially. But then if you go in and consistently feed the machine, more photographs, more reviews, more of everything, then that's going to help you to solidify that spot or maybe take somebody over. And I've actually had it where I'll go out and the broker of an office is ticked off because the broker has got a bunch of agents who are showing up on the page and the broker's not even showing up. He's like, what the heck is going on? Why am I not there, but all my agents are there? And I'm like, well, they came to my classes and You didn't. You know, they're getting after it. They're doing it the right way. And they have the right to do that. They have the right to go out and show that. All right. Any questions? Everybody's good? All right. So we're good on time. Let me show you two more things and then we'll wrap up. Just two more big things that we can do with Google. So one of the things that we can do out there that's pretty big is what's called Google Local Guides. And I don't know if anybody is a local guide on here. If you are, go ahead and put in your level number. And if you are a local guide, you know what I'm talking about. But local guides is the flip side of Google Business Profile. We want to go out and get reviews, but other businesses want us to write reviews about them. And so when I go out and I flip that coin over, that's where I start to become the consumer and I write reviews about other businesses. Now, why would I do that? Well, we're all in a community. We all need to help each other. And many of you have your favorite restaurants, you have your favorite hike and bike trails, you have your favorite workout facilities, whatever the case may be. And Nicole's a level 5. Okay, that's awesome. And so you're going to go out and you're going to write these reviews, right? And everybody says, well, what does that do? What does that do for me? Well, the more reviews you write, the higher you go up on your levels. And Nicole, you're level 5, but ladies and gentlemen, you're talking to a level 8. I just want to throw that out there, okay? But that took me a long time to go from 7 to 8. It took me over a year to go from there, because when you guys first set up your local guides, you're on level 1 and you write your first review and they go, hey, congratulations. And you go to level 2 and you're like, oh, that's easy. And then you get to like level 7 and they stretch you and it takes you like a year, at least for me, over a year to move to 8. And then you finally get to 8 and you're like, oh my gosh, I made it. And then you look, oh my gosh, I got to go to 50,000 points to get to level 9. Now, what does that matter to you? Well, if you're a high D personality like me, you just want to go to the next level, right? It's all about the competition. But as you go along the way, they also start to open up other opportunities to you. Hey, congratulations, you made it to level 4. Here's a pair of Google socks that we'll send you. Or here's $5 Google Play Store. And then you get to level 6 and 7, and they're like, hey, here's some networking groups that you can join us in now and start to meet up with other people. And that actually starts to become some pretty cool business, right? Or potential business. But pretty much, I kind of joke, it's like they'll give you trinkets along the way. If you give us your data, we'll give you free stuff. Another way of phrasing it is, if you sell us your soul, we'll give you trinkets all along the way. And like, sign me up, let's go, right? Why does this matter? Well, whenever I go out and I do a training session, whether it's local or in this case, Greenville, South Carolina, one of my favorite cities, by the way, downtown Greenville is amazing. We're going to go out and we're going to take a bunch of photographs on our trip. And so my wife was able to go with me on this trip. And so we took a bunch of photographs, and this is the Grand Bohemian Lodge. It's a pretty crazy hotel right there by the waterfalls. It's pretty amazing. We took a bunch of photographs just a couple of weeks ago. This one already has 319 views. And then some of the others only have like, photographs in the teens or 20s or 30s. You will have some photographs that will take off. There will be some that just light up the board. Like, why? Well, here's one example. I've got one photograph that I've taken that has been seen 7,500, or not 7,000, 7,500,000 times. And it's a sign of a diner in New Jersey, right? And I put my little Tritthart.com was on there. So that's another reason why I do a local guide is, hey, Michael's here, Michael's there, Michael's everywhere. But as a real estate agent, you're going to go in and you're going to write reviews about all of the local places around you. And in all the other training sessions, we talk about all the benefits of that. And there's so many different benefits of that. But at base value, I have done so many photographs, and I watermark all my photographs, that I've done almost 2,000 photographs, and they've been seen. I'll probably go over 12 million this week. So my brand has been seen for free 12 million times. That's another reason why I'm doing it, right? Is because the more I ingrain into Google, the more they know who I am. Why do I dominate the search engine optimization results for michaeltritthart.com? Well, our website, but I also believe it's all the other things that we do as well. Google will never come out and tell you that. Like if you said this, hey, Mr. Google, and you guys look at me on the screen here, hey, Mr. Google, if I do everything that you offer, will you put me on the first page of Google? Here's Google's response. No, Absolutely not. I mean, that's what they're going to do, right? Now, Valerie asked, Google has said that they have mailed a verification code to my broker 3 times now for over 4 months. Is there a way to get around that so I can finish my setting up my profile? The only way that in this case that you're going to be able to do it is because they're mailing the card. It has to go to that broker address, and you have to receive that card. And you need to talk to your broker to make sure, number one, the mail is coming in. And if it is coming in, is it coming in and being assigned to you? Hopefully nobody at the front desk or wherever that broker is located is taking that and throwing that in the trash. Like, you need to get a copy of that, because once you get a copy of that code, it literally takes you maybe 7-8 minutes to verify your page. So you do need to verify at the mail delivery area that, number one, you're getting the mail, and then number two, is it being delivered to you and not just being trash canned? So, and it's very small broker said it never came in. Double check, you know, and maybe even go out and resend the card, and then call them and say, hey, I just did it. Keep an eye out for the next 3 or 4 days. Like, it should be there on the way, because it usually takes about 3 to 4 days for it to be delivered. There will be other ways for you to verify, but it's up to Google to choose that. Like, you go through the verification process. When you get to the page, it's going to say, hey, Carrie, you can call, or you can text, or you can do this, or you can do that. But you pretty much have to follow what they tell you. And if they're telling you got to do a postcard, then you got to do a postcard. All right, final item for today that we're going to cover is go in and talk about the mapping system. Now, this is true power. You know, Google Business Profile is huge, but the mapping system is probably one of the biggest things that you could possibly do. And years ago, I was doing a class in Austin, Texas. And when the maps had first come out, I asked the group, and there's a bunch of real estate agents, hey, is there anybody in the room that has done a Google My Map yet for real estate? And I had one lady raise her hand, Julie Nelson. Julie's with EXP. She raised her hand and she said, oh yeah, I've done a map. I said, great. What's the real estate map that you did? She's like, I did Austin taco maps. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, time out. I'm talking real estate. She goes, oh, I know. If you do a search for Austin taco maps, her website has been #1 since 2015 for almost a 17 million search result. She's under attack. Look at this. There's 2 other Google My Maps that are trying to unseat her, but because she was one of the first ones, she's going to be there, and she's going to be there for a long time. So Google's going to play favorites to people who use their own products, and the mapping system, the My Map system, is one of those. And she created this map back in 2015. And the reason why she created this map, she's trying to sell homes in the Austin, Texas area. Nobody is buying in Barton Creek because they love the house, they love the price, they love the view, they love everything about it, but they're not buying because they can't walk to Torchy's Tacos. And everybody right now on this call goes, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That just tells me you've never had a Torchy's Taco. If you've had a Torchy's Taco, then you go, it completely makes sense to me, right? And so she created this map kind of in jest, but she called it the Taco Index. Here's how you can find properties within 1 mile of a taco stand. Tacos first, real estate second, right? So she kind of played it up a little bit. But think about it this way, and type a yes if this has ever happened, or nod your head, or give me a thumbs up. Have you ever had anybody go, we have to live here because we have to go to that elementary school over there? I heard it's amazing. We got to feed into this school district or this unified school district. We got to be near this hospital because we got a sick family member. We got to be near the church, the synagogue, the mosque, because I'm an elder and I got to be there in terms of support within 20 minutes if there's any type of crisis going on. Like, we got to be here because of that. That's called life, right? They buy the house because it's pretty, but they also buy the house because it fits their lifestyle. This just happened to be tacos. So you can go out and you can map out pretty much anything you want. And I've got luxury agents that have mapped out subdivisions that they farm. I had one group do this. So if I go out and do a search for Rockwall, Texas neighborhoods, Rockwall, Texas is about 30 minutes from where I live. That pulls up 1.3 million search results. And if I scroll this page, I will see on the homepage a Google map, and Google's going to play favorites to their maps. Like if you create a Google My Map and you put just a little bit of marketing behind it, it will be on the first page of Google, and it will pretty much be there forever because Google's going to play that card. And if I click on this, this is somebody who came to the Google My Map training that I did. And this is amazing and it's awesome. And this is an A+ because what they did is they went out and they did all the different subdivisions of Rockwall, gridded them out, put links in here, hyperlinks back to their website. And if I come over here and I click on the Madison group, this is going to pull up their website and I'm going to see their video, their neighborhood video overview for Lakeview Summit come up. And here's all the information about their property. Like they're crushing it because they have positioned themselves to be the local go-to expert. And in this case, it starts with a simple map. It's that easy. And the maps can be as robust as you want them to be. Here's one right here. This is one that I use for our property. So here's our property in Panama City Beach, Florida. I had my team put this together. So it's just a little one-pager. And that's the property that people can rent. But if you scroll down, we've also got a map of all the different amenities within Panama City Beach. So there's the property boundaries, the shores of Panama. Click on that. There's all the information. But if you wanted to also see, hey, where are the nearest restaurants? Where's the nearest grocery stores? Where's the nearest this, that, whatever the case may be, it's all right there. And these maps, once you create them and you put just a little bit of marketing behind them, they're going to show up on the first page of some really high-powered searches. Legacy West, that's here in North Texas. Legacy West is where Toyota moved their headquarters from California to North Texas about 6 years ago. And they moved into this area called Legacy West and has over 200 million search results for this phrase. The map that we created for one of our real estate clients is right there. And if I scroll down, they're right there on the homepage again. And they've been there for about 4 or 5 years. And there is a tower in Legacy West called Windrose Tower that starts at about 650 per square foot. They've closed 2 deals that they directly can tie back to the map and say, hey, we chose you because we loved your map. We loved that you were able to show us spatially what's going on in Legacy West. So maps are power. And I'll give you one final example here. How many of you, well, you type this into the chat. Who's been selling real estate the longest? Type in the year that you started selling real estate. John, 1997, Lisa, 2002, Carrie, 2001. So far, John's the winner. Let's see if there's anybody else that can unseat John. I think, John, you're our winner today. So Pam has been selling real estate for a long time as well, too. And she tells everybody, I am an Allen, Texas real estate expert. And then they'll call her on her bluff every once in a while. Like, are you really? And she's like, yeah, actually, I am. Let me show you. Let me just pull my map up. Hold on, we got to get down underneath Allen. She makes a big production about, like, we got to find Allen underneath all the bubbles, right? So here comes Allen, Texas, which is 10 minutes from my house. Everybody in red is a listing. Everybody in green is a buyer. And those are the properties that she sold in Allen, Texas. And people look at that and go, whoa. And she goes, I know, right? So here's the listing agreement. You just sign right down here. We'll make you a bubble in about 30 days. That's pretty much her listing presentation, right? In so many words. And oh yeah, by the way, she did this with stage 3 cancer and no assistant. So she got after it, right? She was kicking some booty in her business. And then what she does now with her assistant is she just goes in and feeds the map every month, every quarter. She can go out and start to put that information together. Now, what we did, my design team, is we actually took the best of both worlds and we created something for one of our clients. And this is something that anybody can get. And so if I go out to the Bayou Home Team, the Bayou Home Team is in North Shore area of New Orleans. And this is available to any brokerage. And what this is a widget. And we took all of the homes that the North Shore team has ever, Bayou Home team has ever done. We put them on the map. And they're like, oh, that's cool. So now when I go off for my listing presentation, I just send them this link. Hey, here's all the homes we've ever sold. That map pretty much sells it themselves. So John, the homes that you've sold since 1997, you can pull that from your MLS and you can plot those on a map. It's super simple. Then over on the right-hand side, let's say the Bayou Home team goes through the transactional process, they have a great time, and they want to get a testimonial from their clients. Then what we do is we have the Bayou Home team send in the same link. And then people come over here and they can either write a review for Google, they can write a review for Facebook, they can write a review for Zillow. We let the client choose. Water follows the path of least resistance. They're going to do whatever they feel comfortable with. But what's amazing about this widget is right now the Bayou Home team has 3 Zillow, 3 Facebook, 21 Google, all reviews 27. The widget indexes itself to Google as 27 reviews for Google. So what I'm saying is, John, you got 200 Zillow reviews. And I get this question all the time. Can I move them from one platform to another? No, but this widget will count them as 200 Google reviews. So that's huge. That's huge. And Becky said, if you're a newer agent, could you do this and use the sales from your brokerage? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I train, is that you can go out and get those numbers. So it's not something that you're just stuck. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So you can go out and use that widget for anything you want. And the widget itself, that's something that we offer on the design side. So if you guys go out to michaeltritthart.com and you click on services, there's the widget and you can order that. And the best part about the widget is we'll update your map on a monthly or quarterly basis. You just send us the updated spreadsheet and we handle it. Like, you don't have to build a map, because some people are like, I want that, but I don't want to do that. Right? I just want to market that. Totally get it. Now, this is the widget, but here is something I would suggest if you guys are interested in dominating with Google and being on the homepage and basically being the first go-to choice within the Google world, is to do an online success review. That is where you actually sit down with Jeff from my team. Let me copy this link and you can watch this video. It'll come up and he's going to walk you through basically what he provides, what he does for all of our clients. And in this online success review, he's going to analyze what do you have online right here, right now. He's going to look at the speed test. He's going to see what's working, what's not working. Now, in many cases, he's going to have a lot of people go, oh my gosh, this was amazing. This was awesome. Jeff is a straight shooter. He told me what I have is working. I just got to make it better. I just got to feed the machine. Or he told me I've got to completely change it and start from scratch if I want to achieve these goals. Because he's going to sit down and he's going to basically say, Carrie, if you want to have this happen in your business online, what are those goals going to be? You're going to outline those, and then he's going to match them up to what you have. And if it matches up, great. But if it doesn't, he's going to show you some of the things that we can go out and help you with. And a lot of times he's able to take the tools that you already have and just make those better. So it's called the Agent Success Review. It's called the Online Success Review. I like to phrase it as, this is your online blueprint. You want to go out and build a house, got to have a blueprint. You want to build the house yourself? Great. You want to have your 12-year-old IT genius build a house off the blueprints? That's fine. You want us to do it? We can do it for you. But either way, I want you to win. I want you to succeed. Anybody who goes to my classes, I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what brokerage you're in. This is the former football coach and me coming out. I want you to win. You're on my team. I want you to dominate. I want you to take these tools and these techniques and use these for your business to be successful. Does that make sense? All right. Questions, comments, you guys let me know. We got, 7 minutes or so before the top of the hour. I don't want to infringe upon your time, but I do.
Yes. Questions, bring out some questions, and I'm going to go look again and make sure we don't have any in the live stream. We had a lot of people watching, but no comments or questions yet, but let's make sure. Anybody live here have some more comments or questions?
I'm that good that there's no question.
Either that or they're just like, okay, my mind is blown. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too. My brain is mush. Yeah.
I have a quick question on the maps widget. Do those actually show pictures of the houses, those map pins?
So it can show pretty much whatever you want them to show. For instance, if I come over here and I click on Pam, it's going to link back to a spreadsheet, right? In whatever you put on there. Now, if you want to go super detailed and put in links to photos and things like that, you can do so. That's a little bit next level. Most people just say, I just want the address, like when we sold it, what year, and the address.
Yeah, this is genius. I love it. It's so it's really going into a listing presentation and showing, I've sold 500 homes in my market area. It's like, hi, I'll sign right here.
Yeah. So there was one lady, let me see if I can pull this one up real quick too. She was a luxury agent. She was in my class and she's giving me the look like, yeah, I can't do this. Right. What are you talking about? This is not my cup of tea. And this was in Delaware Beaches. And 3 days after the class, she sent me this. She's like, I can't believe I created this myself. This is amazing. And what this is the peninsula on Indian River Bay. She's been in there selling the gold color homes as the buyer, as the builder's agent since day one. And then here's all the listings. This whole neighborhood, every listing in here starts at like 2.5. Like we're talking high dollar neighborhood. And she has dominated this. And she could tell people all day long, hey, look at all the homes that I've ever sold. And people, when they see that list, they're like, I'm not reading that. That's too many words. I don't have time for that. But when I visually see that, they're like, wow, okay, yeah, you are the go-to. So you're right, John. This is power.
Fire.
This is fire. Kristen said, HomeSnap manages my Google page, but gives me admin rights so I can still do this. Here's what I would suggest that you do, Kristen and everybody else. Contact HomeSnap very nicely and say, give me full ownership of that. Like, I don't need you doing that. They've gone out and set it up for everybody. They're like, oh, look at this great service we're doing for you. And it's awesome. But I'm like, I want the control. And they'll give you that.
The question that I have on that though is because I have like 52 or 54 reviews on that page. And when I asked him if I were to take my stuff over, I would lose all my reviews.
That's bull. It's a lie.
So I don't even know how I would copy those over if I were to manage that.
No, you just say, I want my page. I don't want you to delete the page. I want full ownership of my page. And so what they're basically trying to do is they're trying to tell you, oh, you can't do that. And you're like, no, I can. And I want full control of being able to edit my page. And so they can go in and in the ownership level, they can change all of these settings right here. And one of those settings is who's controlling your page. And it's
okay, yeah, because when I asked him about that and I said, so if I ever decided to stop using HomeSnap and do my own thing, do I have to create a new page? And they told me absolutely I would, and that the reviews and everything else would be nixed out.
No, so you basically, you don't want to start a new page. You just want to take over the page that they have created for you.
Right.
And then you become the primary owner, not them. Right. And once you remove them from the primary ownership space, you can delete them and your page will be yours.
Okay.
And Nicole said, you just said any business? Yes. So would your site be able to, something to share with business owners in our database as a value add? Absolutely. So I had somebody, a vendor in my Vancouver, British Columbia class, and this was 2018. He was just going to be the normal vendor. Like, hey, here's what we do, kind of do the song and dance. And he saw what we were talking about. He was kind of like looking at us, said, sit down, join us. And he had his laptop. And he populates his map, his spreadsheet with all of the home warranties that he's ever done. And in the class, he's like, oh my gosh, I thought he had spilled something on his laptop. But the whole valley of Vancouver just filled in. He's like, I had no idea we've done this many home warranties. Yeah, this is amazing. This is so much better than just giving them a list. So yes, this mapping system can work for pretty much anything.
There's a question in the live stream that said, can you help us set up our Google business page from scratch? Do you have that service?
We do. So if I go back to the services page, here's pretty much everything we do. So we can do the maps, we can do the business. We've got all these different tools and services that we can do. We can build websites, pretty much everything. Here's what I would suggest though, because when people see that whole list, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do this and this, and oh, I want to do it all, right? Start with the online success review, because then Jeff's going to tell you, no, you don't need that. This is what you need. And if it's more than one thing, we can also start to bundle it and give you guys some savings, right? And offer this as a value to where not only you're going to gain access to all these different tools, but also save some money along the way.
Also, Michael and I have talked about having a couple of workshops for you guys if you are willing to pay for that. And so if we did it more workshop style, Michael, you wouldn't be doing it for them, but you would be helping them do it and learn it. There was a great comment in here by Nicole, who is, let's learn this ourselves and go bring this as value to the other business owners in our market and get business. What a genius idea, by the way. So there's value in learning how to do it as well. Not all of you will want to, and that's okay. But if you're interested in that, chat me in Workplace or comment on the live stream in eXp Family Tree where we have this recording or we have this live streaming, and I'll reach out, and then I just need to see, we need to gauge how many people, because in order for the cost of that type of a workshop, and usually, Michael, isn't it like a 4-part series, to my understanding, is the best?
Yeah, so all of these courses that you see right here, these are all in the state of Texas, Trek CE certified. I've also got them certified in other states, but we can pretty much do a 15-part series on everything.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, we like create a whole course catalog. Google itself is like a 4-parter, but we can go in and show you how to do this. And Nicole, what you said about helping the community, great minds think alike. And I like what you said. And what I have on my Google page is this link to Google Biz Secrets. And this is something that I created for people who come to my in-person classes. They're like, oh my gosh, that was great. That was awesome. My mind is blown. How do I do this again? And I have this 7-part series on everything here. But what you said, Nicole, that's why I want to show you this. I created an ebook, and I created that ebook to where people could take the PDF version, put your brand on the front cover, put Nicole's brand on the cover, then go out to the local restaurant and say, hey, would you like to add an extra $100,000 to the bottom line? And they're going to go, well, of course.
Yeah.
Well, great. Here's my ebook that I wrote. And Nicole, it's got your name on it. I don't care. I wrote the book, but you can put your brand on it. And then you can go out and share that and say, look, I'm coming from contribution. I'm helping the community. We're all in this together type of mentality. And that's the training that I do. And what Carrie mentioned with these classes, everything that I teach is designed to be action oriented. So even though it would be in a Zoom environment, it would be a workshop environment. Like, I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you guys are going to go out and do it. And so we can go through each one of these sessions and just really give you time to build and grow your business the right way. And
awesome. So I have multiple people already saying, yes, let's do a workshop. So you and I, Michael, let's get together and talk about what would like the top foundational pieces be, so I can post about this, and then we can spread the word. You guys, I'm going to need your help in spreading the word, because if you spread the word, the more people that we have that sign up, the more affordable it is for all of us. And also just a good group with some good engaged energy, obviously not huge, but then we can kind of put that together. We'll share with you what that's going to look like and bring it to you guys in an affordable way where it could be in a group setting, which I think is great value. This is well worth spending a little bit of money if you're going to workshop it and actually do it, right? Because you will get a result and you will get a return on your investment. So I think that we've got a very good group right now, and there's a whole bunch of people that are commenting on the live stream. So Michael, you and I, let's get back together on that. In the meantime, you guys have all of the links here in chat. Grab it before we end the call. And this is amazing stuff. I think this is going to be the first of many opportunities to learn from Michael. So I'm very excited. I appreciate you guys being here. Michael, thank you so much for just being open to coming and doing this for us. Yeah, absolutely. And there was a comment as we wrap up here. Valerie mentioned, are these classes listed Zoom? I'm in Texas, but Zoom is a great option. Yeah. Not all the classes are Texas. The vast majority of them are, because that's where I'm based. But if you keep on going down to where it says view more, I've got some Oklahoma classes coming up.
But a lot of these classes are going to be what we call hybrid, which is in person. So if you can attend in person in Fort Worth next week, great. Otherwise, you can join us via Zoom. But as Carrie and I were talking about before this and what she just mentioned, we're going to put together something that is exclusive to you guys, to where you can just come in here, make it easy. We have a pattern to this. So instead of you jumping around to all the different sessions, we can logically kind of put it into a workflow and make it easier for you. And then I would also suggest this too, is that you invite any of your recruiting candidates and any of your allied business resources to join us on these classes, because this is huge. Everybody needs this. It's not just a real estate class. It's a business building class.
That's huge. And so what we'll do is we'll put it together and we'll have a link to sign up and pay. And then that way you can share it with your allied partners. You can share it with recruits. You can share it with business partners and guests. And I'll talk to Michael on how big we want this to be or not be. We'll first come, first serve type thing. If we have to set up a second one, we will, based on, what you guys do here. I think we're going to get a lot more, interest expressed here in EXP Family Tree. So watch for it, more to come. I think this is a great time of year to do it. Q4, Q1, get this going so that you've got a good foundation set up for the new year. So I'm excited. And I knew that if we brought Michael in here, it would be easier for me to say, this is some really good information. Let's do a workshop, versus just coming out and trying to promote it, which is what we were originally thinking. So again, Michael, thanks for doing this, because it really helped people to understand what they can learn from you, which is very helpful.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
All right, you guys, thanks so much. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.